Fujimoto, dropping one of the best manga panels I have seen for manga 2024. And we're not talking just like one panel, we're talking multiple panels of absolute amazing art quality that honestly, you just can't help but just feel like, damn, what a fantastic chapter of Chainsaw Man. Like, even this sequence here of just seeing Yoru just having a laughing fit while Asa's realizing, oh crap, how did I forget that she's actually a devil? It's just straight up fantastic. On top of that, it's very clear that Fujimoto has not forgotten what he did last chapter, because he upgraded her from just like, let's say, cake to a whole freaking bakery, because it's just like, it speaks for itself. But anyways, jokes aside, let's get into this chapter of Chainsaw Man, and what's really going on here. What is this mysterious devil that is coming out of the Statue of Liberty, and is this a new devil? Is this like the Freedom Devil? Is this the Liberty Devil? You get the point. You know, what devil is this? Well, it's actually pretty obvious what this devil is, and there's a lot of indicators for that. For one, you see Yoru do the finger movement of Bang, aka that's exactly what we saw Makima do, but also we know that this is indication of the gun devil being used. And if we go back to the previous chapter, when, you know, Yoru puts her finger in the air and we see Statue of Liberty appear, you see a bunch of people, like 400,000 humans of the National Pistol Association, they lose their fingers, or their index finger, so to speak. And then we see, even in the newest chapter, while this is happening, you see an index finger actually like flying. So obviously what is going on here is that Yoru called more power of the gun devil at her disposal, and that is what happened at the beginning of this chapter. The gun devil was hidden within the Statue of Liberty, broke out of it, and literally shot a blast. And obviously we get this whole moment with, you know, Asa and Yoru, where Asa's like, wait a minute, are we the baddies? And I really love this. This is such a good panel, because it's like, obviously a lot of people are going to either be staring at the cake, they're going to be either just looking at the complete different reactions of Asa and Yoru, but also this is kind of more or less a wake-up call to Asa's very character that, you know, we started with for part 2 of Chainsaw Man. So let's segue into that. So we all know that Asa is someone that was traumatized by devils and her backstory. This was something that was established very early on within Chainsaw Man Part 2, and it is what led her to be who she is, why she became such a social outcast, why she felt like anywhere she was she would lose things, all these different type of things about her character. And in this moment, when you see Yoru take over her body, use the gun devil, and do the devastation to the entire environment, and obviously a lot of lives are lost in this given moment, Yoru and Asa obviously are going to be very conflicted here, and Asa is reminded of how she got here. For instance, like, how she even got the point of wanting to go after Chainsaw Man, you know, the gun devil, everything, what happened to her, what was taken from her, her family, everything. She's reminded of this, and so in this moment, Asa's like, I just did what was done to me. That is what she realizes in this moment. And it's a very powerful moment. Powerful paneling. I love just the overall Yoru reaction and scars dissipating, and you see Asa come into, you know, frame. It is a really powerful usage of panels, because Asa realizes she's no better. She did the exact same thing. This is the equivalent of the Shibuya arc with JJK, with, you know, Sukuna taking over Yuji's body and all that devastation that happened in Shibuya, and then how he obviously had his hands bloodied thanks to everything. That's basically what has happened here. That Asa is now responsible for countless lives, hundreds, probably hundreds of thousands of lives, forever changed and ruined thanks to this devastation that happened within this chapter. And so the very thing that caused her to go on this crusade and do everything that's kind of driven her throughout part 2 of Chainsaw Man, she has now directly caused the very thing that's happened to her to other people. So it's very sad. And I like this wake-up call showcasing that devils, in the grand scheme of things, they are not something that fully understands human empathy or love. They are very different, and I like this. Obviously, Yoru has learned a little bit of emotion. She's gotten a little bit flirty and romancing Denji, so to speak, a few chapters back, but overall, you know, she still doesn't fully comprehend human emotion. At her very core, she is a devil, and I think that is perfectly what is represented here, and what Asa is obviously waking up to. Now, obviously, with all that being said, we move over into the panel of Denji, or in this case, Puchita, laying on the ground. And I'm going to be honest, as soon as I saw this, I saw this. I was just like, they are one and the same. They are literally the exact same. And it's just like, it's so crazy to me, like, how this chapter is so heavily, like, it feels like it's heavily inspired by JJK. I don't know if this is indirectly like Fujimoto kind of tipping a hat or a nod to, you know, Gege, you know, wrapping up JJK in the next week. Maybe this is his own way of like respecting the manga of Jujutsu Kaisen. I have no idea. But whatever the case may be, when I saw, you know, Puchita laying on the ground like this, I just instantly thought of Gojo, and it's honestly, it's very reminiscent, because I've seen a lot of people, like, calling Puchita a fraud. Like, there's been a lot of fraud allegations, so to speak, ever since this chapter came out, and last chapter, so I am legitimately curious to see, you know, what will happen in the upcoming weeks, because it's like, with this final segment of the chapter, and seeing the aging devil coming in, and feeding, like, their blood and their body to Puchita, this is setting up for obviously what I talked about 3 to 4 weeks ago. If the aging devil is gone, well, we just gotta look at the overall problems. There are repercussions that this actually will cause if the very concept of aging is removed. So let's say aging is removed, okay? Let's say Puchita goes through with this and does eat the aging devil, and this is the end, okay, of aging itself. Well, as I talked about a few chapters ago, aging is a very, how can I say, vague description. If aging is gone, that means, obviously, people can't grow anymore. That means if you're born as a 1-year-old, like if you're a 1-year-old at the current time the aging devil is eaten and gone and the concept of aging is gone, that means you'll forever be a 1-year-old. The very concept of aging, your body, you know, maturing and developing, that will cease to function. On top of that, that would also mean that the life cycle of plants and animals will also cease to function. So, for instance, let's just do a low ball. Let's say there's 1 million cows, okay? And people like to eat, you know, beef, okay? Well, obviously, if there is no reproduction going on, because obviously aging isn't a thing anymore, that basically means that there will not be new cows to be able to replenish the population. That means eventually the numbers of cows will dwindle as humans consume the meat. Now, obviously, you know, there will only ever be a limited amount of humans now because births can't theoretically happen. This would definitely cause a lot of problems, but it doesn't change the fact that eventually food supplies will drain, thin, plants as well. The way plants grow as well in the age with seeds and all that, they will cease to function too if we're going on the concept of aging itself. So everything about this, to cell replication and all of that, will just straight up not work anymore. So it's, very bad news. Like, if Puchita legitimately eats the aging devil, this theoretically will cause so much damage that honestly, you cannot even begin to realize just how bad it will be. Like, it's just surface level, it's bad. But if you dive into the vast knowledge and well of what aging could do, oh my goodness. Like, this is literally a catastrophe itself. But, disregarding even that, we gotta look at the lives that will be lost. Like, it's like, obviously the aging devil, for their contract, for every piece that's eaten of them, they will literally be able to, because of their contract, they'll take actual lives of kids. And it's, pretty messed up. Obviously, I don't need to really describe how messed up this is in terms of, like, morals and all of that. But, I feel like indirectly, the reason why this is being done is because if aging is gone, children would be technically the next generation to be able to carry on. And if, like, you know, aging doesn't exist, you know, and all that, and the kids are all gone, all there will be is basically just adults slash old people. So it kind of feels like this is very intentional by the aging devil, very malicious and all that, to basically say, you want to get rid of aging, then okay, let's get rid of everything, for you really can understand the weight and magnitude of what you've done to yourself and the entire world. But this won't de-age people from what we understand. The concept of de-aging. I don't think it'll disappear. This will just more or less cause you to stop aging. So, yeah, I am so curious. But, with that being said, this chapter of Chainsaw Man is really, really freaking good. I mean, Fujimoto, straight up, he's cooking. Like, I love what he's been doing with these chapters, and I mean, I think at this point people are starting to see that Fujimoto hasn't lost it. There were so many complaints around Chainsaw Man, people absolutely railing and hating on Chainsaw Man for a very long time now, saying that part 2 is just legitimately ass, but it's not. It's been very good, and once again, the highs we're getting into right now is the equivalent of the end of part 1 highs with the Makima versus Puchita fight. So yeah. Anyways, I'll wrap it up there. Thank you so much for watching. May all of you have a fantastic day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.